I'm Meredith Hodges. Are you having trouble getting the same response from your equine as trainers do?
We're here today to address the issues that all play an integral part in the successful training of your equine. Training isn't just a way to teach your equine to do certain things. It's a way to help him grow physically and mentally healthy and to enable him to learn to cope with the demands that will be put on him in life. It's much like raising children to grow up to be healthy and productive adults. The information in this program addresses the subtleties in your attitude and approach that can make all the difference in your training program. Whether he's a foal or an older equine that you've just obtained, trained or untrained, the process is the same and it's never too late to get started. You are developing a new relationship, and the ground rules you set now will dictate the positive extent of your relationship with the animal. You are creating the foundation from which your friendship will grow. It's important to be an active participant in your animal's training. After all, you wouldn't have someone else go out and make a friend for you. What you feed your equine and how well his health is maintained will determine how responsive he will be to training. Though some feeds will build body mass and seem to be promoting health, these high-protein feeds also have their negative effects. Often, their growth is accelerated disproportionate to their natural and mental growth. High-protein feeds can cause anxiety and limited attentiveness. If the animal is not feeling well, or if parts of his body become sore, he will be less likely to perform in an enthusiastic and energetic way. Vaccinations and worming should be kept up to date. His hooves need to be trimmed or shod and ready for the stress that will be put on them. Regular maintenance practices play an important role in your animal's overall health. I have found that equines do best on a mixture of crimped oats, mixed with a vitamin concentrate such as Shoglo or Clovite, and Mazola corn oil for hooves, coat, and digestive tract regularity. They are supplemented with grass hay, and the hay is increased or decreased to monitor the weight gain or loss. As a reward for positive responses in training, the animal gets the same crimped oats, so his grain increase is given when he needs it the most, during the training process. Crimped oats, unlike any other equine treat, is also something that the animal will continue to work for without tiring of it. Apples, carrots, horse treats, and the like are things on which they can get sated. Some of these things even have the same effect that candy has with children. They not only become sated, but they have residual effects like hypertension, a short attention span, or even just an upset digestive tract. These effects can have a negative effect on training. Feeding the same way at the same times each day is not only healthy, but fosters confidence and trust from the animal. He learns without question that he can depend on you for his welfare and that his efforts will be rewarded with his favorite treat of crimped oats. Coming up, we'll cover giving proper consideration to your equine.
Colorful Colorado, with its majestic Rocky Mountains and wide open spaces, also boasts the Loveland Long Ears Museum and Sculpture Park at the Lucky 3 Ranch, home of some of the finest mules and donkeys in the world. This working ranch is just 40 miles north of Denver. World-renowned authority on mules and donkeys, Meredith Hodges, invites you and your family for an adventure in learning you won't want to miss. Come visit the Lucky 3 Ranch, meet Meredith, her champion mules and donkeys, and take in the beauty of her long ears art for the experience of a lifetime.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch Training Tips. I believe that learning and practicing good manners, that is, consideration, courtesy, and thoughtfulness, is good for everyone, including equines.
Including lessons in good manners while teaching any training technique makes your job and your equines a lot easier now and far into the future. As your equine learns to come and stand quietly while being haltered, rewarded, and taken from his stall or pen, he learns to allow you to lead the way without being a bully, and you learn how to be respectful of his rest area and polite while putting on the halter. During bathing, by your quiet, organized example, your equine will learn to be cooperative, move carefully around you, and will avoid stepping on the hose, bathing supplies, and your toes. When multiple animals are being groomed in a tight space, your equine learns to move purposefully and sensibly, even stepping over cords when asked. When gait training is done correctly, he will always allow you to go through the gate first, then follow and turn calmly and obediently to obtain his reward. Through practice, he will eventually learn to be attentive, patient, and wait for your signal before moving. And all movements will become purposeful with mutual consideration. Lessons in good manners at every stage of interaction with your equine can significantly lower the risk of your animal becoming distracted, which is crucial for safety when working with any equine. Good manners is a two-way street that will greatly enhance your time together. Here's an engineer. How did you know that? So we go see a huge mule. Because this head, keep fine. Stroke with the head, that's all you gotta do. Okay, come on, boys, let's go. Come on.
Every owner knows that a well-taken care of equine is a happy equine. More and more, a technique being used to enhance our animal's overall conditioning is equine massage.
What you have to realize is you're training an animal in their muscle tissue, and their muscle tissue has to be able to perform the task that you're asking the animal to perform. If you're having a hard time doing the advanced things, you need to go back to the beginning. The massage helps break the pattern of the neurons that fire to that muscle, that tell it to contract, to contract, to contract.
With proper instruction, just about anyone can learn to give their equine the benefit of basic massage.
I've been working on equines for a long time, and a lot of people look at you and hope that you can just come out and make an animal better. And you can't do that. It takes two pieces, the massage as well as the exercise. And the exercise is actually more important than the massage. And that's something that people really have to understand. And Meredith's tapes do that. And a lot of people don't want to take that long a time frame. They just want to do their 60 days, get on the animal and ride them. But that's not really where you can go with their backs.
For more intensive therapeutic massage, be sure to consult a professional. Equine massage not only enhances your animal's health and overall condition, it's also a deeply personal and rewarding bonding experience for both of you.
Many of you who love your horses also love your dogs. This type of massage can be beneficial for all your pets. If you want to improve your animal's quality of life, I can help. I can either teach you how to do it, or I can massage your dogs for you. Contact me at dogmassage.com.
Hi, I'm Meredith Hodges, and welcome to the Lucky 3 Ranch. I get a lot of letters and emails from people with training and behavior questions about their equines. So I'm going to take you back to the beginning with a series of training tips that work for all equines. Leading training on the obstacle course is your equine's initial exposure to real fear. How you handle your equine's fear will determine how he will handle all stressful situations in the future. If your equine has already learned the elements of leading training with regard to strengthening his body in good posture and obediently follows you, this is the beginning of a calm and mutually satisfying relationship of trust between you. First, think of the word oats. Observe, approach, touch, and sigh. It's not only the reward you feed your equine, it stands for the steps you'll use to turn your animal's fear into curiosity. Step 1. Observe. Instead of fleeing the moment he sees anything fearful, your equine should first learn to stop and observe an obstacle. Step 2. Approach. You should approach each obstacle and then encourage your equine to follow. If he is hesitant, just reach in your fanny pack and offer a reward for a step or two in the direction of the obstacle, but do not allow him to have the reward until he has offered some compliance. When he offers a step or two towards the obstacle, lavish praise on him. Tell him how brave he is and give him the food reward for his attempt. He need not negotiate the entire obstacle for a reward at first. Step 3. Touch. Use the same approach until he has reached the obstacle and then ask him to touch it with his nose. If necessary, put some crimped oats on the ground or on the obstacle to encourage him to negotiate the obstacle, and again praise him lavishly and reward generously when he does. This will bolster his confidence. If he finds an obstacle that is just too overwhelming, be satisfied with his attempt to approach and reward him for that. End the lesson there and save the total negotiation of the obstacle for the next lesson. Your equine will eventually learn to be attentive, patient, and confident about moving through the various obstacles, such as ground poles, tires, the bridge, stopping at a mailbox, walking through a tractor tire, and backing through straight and parallel poles. All movements will become purposeful, and he will learn to remain attentive to you and to respond promptly during his lessons. Crucial for safety when working with any equine, you can significantly lower the risk of your animal becoming distracted by using good manners at every stage of interaction with him. Step 4. Sigh. Praise him for his attempts. Reward him verbally, then with the food reward, and wait for his sigh of relaxation before moving forward. Giving plenty of oats reward and remembering the word oats will help you to change your equine's fear into curiosity.
Artwork inspired by mules and donkeys is quickly gaining popularity. Tennessee mule artist Bonnie Shields has the uncanny ability to capture the fun-loving nature of these free-spirited animals.
They were like a horse, but they weren't like a horse. They had a little different body. They used their body a different way. They certainly had a different mental attitude. So they started intriguing me as an artist, and I kept finding the differences between them and the horse, both physically and in their reaction to things. So that started my love affair with the mule. When you deal with the mule, you're not always in charge. So it takes a little bit of a different kind of personality to appreciate the mule and to work with her.
She was the only artist that could really capture the essence of mules and donkeys. Because mules and donkeys are really good teachers and teachers of life lessons. And Bonnie has just been an inspiration to me ever since. Well, how'd it do?
Whoa. I know that all through the years, Meredith gives tours to the ranch. But what a wonderful addition to this whole ranch would be a sculpture park just for the mules and the donkeys. So I just thought it was an awesome idea. And then she let me be part of it. It's a wonderful thing. And when you come to visit the Lucky Three, it's just an added bonus. Mule people, you reckon I can get Meredith to make a tape on how to teach your mule to shovel snow? I sure gonna try. Wish me luck.
Just a wonderful human being, and working with her is always humorous. She is just funny as the day is long, and so I thought that she would be absolutely perfect as the illustrator for the Jasper series that I wanted to do.
The Daydreamers was inspired by a thing that I saw years ago. I heard about this family up in Kentucky. They'd been working tobacco out in the field with their mules. And one of the boys, he was laying across this mule's back, laying in the shade. They'd been working, and he was resting on the back of his mule in the shade. That just kind of stuck with me, and I thought, gee, a kid like that, you know, he thinks he's stuck on the farm. He thinks he's stuck doing all this terrible old work, and he's laying up there and he's daydreaming about getting away from it all. So that's where Daydreamer came from. Sculpture's not the only thing I do. Matter of fact, I got into sculpture maybe a little later in my career. Mostly, I was known for my pencil drawings and my acrylic paintings for many, many years.
Long ears art. It may be whimsical, like a cartoon, or it may simply be breathtaking. Long ears are taking their place in the world of art, and it's the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
To give proper consideration to your equine, you need to start thinking in terms of spending a little more time developing a good, solid foundation before going on to more elaborate moves. Be aware of your equine's mental, physical, and emotional responses during training. For instance, you may think once your mule is moving around the round pen at all three gaits with a reverse that he's ready to begin riding, but this may not necessarily be true. It takes years to really condition muscles to their full strength, so 6 to 8 months doing round pen exercises is really not that long. Spending less time than 6 to 8 months in the round pen will not produce the same results. If you move through conditioning too fast, it will affect the animal's mental attitude towards training, and he will experience emotional depression when things don't work right for him. As a result, he will become resistant to training. When you spend time conditioning muscles and developing coordination, you are concerning yourself with your mule's physical well-being that will ultimately result in success. Otherwise, you're only teaching him to do things that he may or may not do well. In the round pen, you need to pay attention to how many laps he does in each direction and at each gait. How many reverses to the left, then how many to the right. You need to assess whether he will need a couple more laps on the sides that are weaker. If you do this when you get on and finally start riding him, his straight lines will be straighter, his turns smoother, and his reverses and stops more balanced with minimal effort. As he grows stronger and more confident mentally and physically, the upper level movements will come easier and faster than the basic foundation training. Also, make time for resources like massage and chiropractics. So take your time, be patient. Different exercises build different muscle groups, so it is important to know what exercises you should begin with and which exercises should follow. You need to understand that even though you don't plan to show, your equine needs to be strong enough to be able to perform easily, even on something as seemingly simple as trail riding. If you want to help your mule, take the time to improve your own skills as well. Having different kinds of exercises that build the same muscle groups at each level will keep the training sessions new and interesting for you and your animal. These sessions should be enjoyable and rewarding for both of you. If you run into problems, just back up and try something simple and that is similar in its demands so you can reward your animal for positive behavior. Don't get sucked into drilling on something that just isn't working properly. Sometimes it's just a matter of breaking it down into smaller steps that can be rewarded, such as approach or partial negotiation, or just leaving it to another day. Like humans, equines have their own individual ways of learning, and it's up to you to figure out what works best with your particular equine on any given day. You can find suggested approaches in our video series, and I'm always available to answer questions and make suggestions. Learn to be consistent with your verbal commands and don't leave them out. Your equine can learn to identify words and will respond much more readily with verbal commands than he can by cues alone. So give him that advantage and things will go more smoothly. In the beginning, keep your words simple and consistent. Walk, trot, canter, reverse, and whoa. Let your own body language reflect what you are saying and watch your mule's reaction to your body language to perfect your own technique. As he gets more familiar with verbal commands and your body language is more technically correct, you can add more words to his vocabulary. Move over, go to the rail, easy, and so forth. By the time he's an adult and has gone through this kind of training, he will begin to understand almost anything you might have to say. It's much like the child who first learns his ABCs, then words, then sentences, and eventually entire paragraphs. Progress only as fast as you can do things easily, so you can be calm and deliberate around your mule. If you're nervous or apprehensive, he will sense this and think there's a reason for him to be nervous too. The converse of this is if you are happy, relaxed, and patient about doing things, you will elicit a better response from your equine. Attitude is everything, so do whatever you need to do to keep the experience interesting and enjoyable. Equines can learn from each other, so it can be beneficial to work them together. When you're working with foals, it's helpful to take Mom along or to have her tied nearby during training sessions. Green animals often do better on the trails the first year if they're ridden with well-trained trail animals. If you have multiple animals to keep conditioned, you can even lunge them together, provided your work in the round pen has been consistent with each of them in the beginning. This has been a common practice in driving for many years when young animals are hitched with the old pros. Speaking of old pros, it is to your advantage to find a local instructor trainer and take lessons periodically. This gives you a way to check to make sure you stay on the right track and continue to improve your own skills. Lists of trainers and instructors can be obtained from the United States Equestrian Federation and from the American Donkey and Mule Society. Here is a summary of the bullet points presented in this program to develop trust, confidence, and successful training. Number 1, be willing to participate in your equine's training and learn how to become his friend and companion. Number 2, feed your equine correctly so he can be appropriately responsive to training. Number 3, be kind and considerate in your approach and learn how to reward your equine's good behaviors promptly and appropriately. Number 4, condition your equine's muscles in the proper athletic sequence. Number 5, watch your own body language. Number 6, use the buddy system or group lessons when appropriate. Number 7, be kind, consistent, and patient. This program has addressed some of the more subtle things that will make an enormous difference in the success of your training program. The more obvious training exercises, definitions, and explanations can be found in our other TV shows, our resistance-free video series, and on our website at www.lucky3ranch.com and by calling 1-800-816-7566.
Having problems? Need an accessible trainer? Whether you're just a weekend trail rider or showing, the principles of training are the same. You want a safe and reliable equine companion. Produced by Meredith Hodges, Training Mules and Donkeys, a logical approach to long ears, will help you build a good working relationship with your animal. Meredith reveals the secrets of successful maintenance and resistance-free training that can be implemented by anyone, resulting in a satisfying partnership between you and your equine. Meredith answers your training questions promptly via mail or phone. Her books are great general resources and her videos are detailed, outlining the day-to-day exercises needed to produce a versatile and dependable equine companion. Meredith's techniques work with all equines. Do you have children, grandchildren? Check out Jasper, the story of a mule. For more information, check out our website at www.lucky3ranch.com or call 1-800-816-7566.
Mules are working their way into the hearts of people everywhere. If you'd like to know more about these wonderful long-eared animals, you can contact us at 1-800-816-7566 or get on our website at lucky3ranch.com.
Dusty old quilt hung crooked on a couch in an old stone house by a lazy river. Songbirds singing to me like slow ride.